So you want to take better flash photos with your Fujifilm camera. That 90s in-your-face direct flash look that you see a lot nowadays is having a little bit of a comeback. And you don't need a disposable camera or even a vintage camera to get that look anymore. So today I'm going to show you how I get that retro flash look using my Fujifilm camera and the Viltrox Vintage Z1, plus a little recipe that is going to make your photos look so good. What is up, guys? Welcome back to Once Upon a Time, the greatest channel on YouTube if your girlfriend or significant other has been watching too many murder mysteries and you're getting slightly concerned. Now today we're going to be talking about the Viltrox Vintage Z1. Now this right here is a flash that I've been pairing a lot with my Fujifilm camera to get those kind of retro style photos. And so I thought in today's video it would be really fun if I kind of break down why this flash is great for that, what recipes you should use for your Fujifilm camera to get great flash photos straight away, as well as how to shoot your models in studio to get the most out of your flash photo. Because believe it or not, even something this small can make for extremely editorial looking photos and fun photos. Before we get into the nitty gritty, I want to talk a little bit about why this flash is so great. So this is the Viltrox Vintage Z1 Pro, and it just has a lot of great features for the price point. Now, if you're new to the channel, you might not know, but I've been doing flash for maybe 5 or 4 months, and I've been really missing something. And I think this flash right here brings everything that I want into one small package. Now, for one, the flash looks fantastic. You know, you have the silver, the black, it matches your Fujifilm. And if you're a Fujifilm shooter, you know that the most important thing in photography is not the photo, but how you look when you're taking it. I'm just kidding. But the flash is super simple to use and it is super powerful. So you have a touchscreen and you have a wheel that you can actually use to adjust the output of your flash. But the main thing here is going to be that you have TTL as well as manual. Now, one of the biggest problems that I had with older flashes that I was using was that I only had manual. So I always had to take a photo and test before actually getting the right exposure, which that's what TTL helps with. You know, it makes that decision for you and helps you get that perfect exposure every time because it's communicating with your camera. Now you also have the option to go manual, which just helps you be a little bit more creative, whether you want that high key look or something along those lines. You always have that option. When it comes to direct flash photography, there really isn't one perfect setting, but there is a really good starting point. The first thing I always recommend is shooting in manual mode, because direct flash is really all about balancing two exposures. You have the ambient light and then you have the light coming from your flash. And this is your biggest pro tip. Before you even turn your flash on, expose for your background first. Take a test shot and decide how bright or dark you want the environment to look. If you want that dramatic, punchy, direct flash look with a darker background, you can use a faster shutter speed, lower ISO, or a smaller aperture. But if you want more of the environment and more ambient light to show up, slow your shutter speed down and raise your ISO. Once your background looks the way that you want it to look, then turn on the flash and expose your subject with the flash power. For me, a good starting point is usually around 125 to 250, somewhere between f4 and f8, and around ISO 100 to 400, and then I'll start my flash somewhere around 1/16 or 1/32 power and adjust from there. The most important thing to remember here is that build your background exposure first and then use your flash to light your subject. That separation gives you so much more control. You're not just blasting your subject with flash and hoping everything looks good. You're intentionally deciding what the background looks like and then adding light exactly where you want it. So now let's talk about the recipe, because this is very important. Whenever you're thinking about direct flash, you're thinking about almost muted tones, but also very vibrant. And that's where Kodachrome 64 comes in. Now, if you've watched my videos for a long time, Kodachrome 64 is my go-to. These are all photos that I've taken with Kodachrome 64, with and without flash, and it always looks great. Now, the reason why I picked this specifically for flash is because it kind of has that vintage green tint that a lot of flash photography from back in the day had. And so I think that it perfectly kind of encapsulates what makes flash photography. Now, it also desaturates the blues, which is also huge because it kind of gives everything an almost whitish look if they have blue in their eyes or anything like that. So personally, I think it looks great. All of these photos that you're seeing right now were all taken on the same set, Kodachrome 64. No edits have been done to them. These are all JPEGs, just straight from the camera onto the computer. Another recipe you can use is called Kodak Gold 200. Now this is very similar to Kodachrome 64, however, it leans a little bit more towards the warm tone. So if you want to give that a try, I would also highly recommend it. Now that you have your exposure figured out, the next question is, what do you actually do with your model? And one thing I love about directing with flash is that it works really well with poses that feel a little bit more intentional and graphic. Because the light is coming straight from the camera, every movement and shape you create with the body becomes really important. So the first thing I always tell a model is, don't just stand there, give me some angles, instead of having them face me directly straight on, have them turn their shoulders slightly, shift their weight onto one leg, bring one shoulder forward. Even a small change can make the pose feel so much more dynamic because of that harsh light. I also love using hands, have them touch their face, play with their hair, grab their clothing, or create shapes around their bodies. Direct flash can sometimes feel very raw and spontaneous, so these small movements can actually make the photo feel super alive without there having to be anything crazy going on. Another thing I like to do is called micro movements. Once you find one pose that works, don't immediately move on. Tell your model to keep your body exactly where it is. Now just move your chin, look into the lens, look away, close your eyes, bring your shoulders up. You can get 10 completely different images without completely changing the pose. And whether you're in the studio or outside, I always try to pay attention to the background and the space around the model. If you're outside, use the environment. Have them lean against the wall, stand under a street light, or interact with whatever's around them. Maybe have them crouch somewhere cool. In the studio, you have to create those shapes yourself. So think about negative space between their arms, their bodies, and the background. The biggest thing here is to keep giving direction. Even if it's simple, like a chin down, eyes here, shoulders up, hand closer to your face. With direct flash, small movements can make a huge difference. So instead of searching for one perfect pose, keep your model moving, making small changes, and reacting to your direction. That's usually where the best photos happen. Another cool thing that I want to mention about the Viltrox Vintage Z1 Pro is that it comes with a diffuser. And now this diffuser is actually pretty cool because instead of getting that super harsh shadow in the back with really harsh lights on the model's face, you still get kind of that harsh light, but everything is a little bit softer, which just works to make the photo look a little bit more editorial. So here are some photos of with and without the diffuser to show you the comparison. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys are new here, my name is Juan Pablo. I make and post a video every single Thursday, and I always reply to your comments as long as you're kind to me. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you heard that, that was my child. He is trying to be fed right now, and I am here making a video because I am a responsible adult. And if you're interested in actually buying that flash you saw there, you can actually click the link in the description right now and let me know what you guys think. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Next time I see you, I'm going to wear 27 different shirts stacked up on top of each other. And then I'm gonna use a seesaw to see how far I can cut. And by seesaw, I meant an actual saw. And I'm gonna do a magic trick where they cut me in half and put me in boxes and separate me, kind of like the magicians. Anyways, guys, catch you next time.